I spent like 4 to 5 hours researching SunnyV2. He's a very big YouTuber in the video essay space. It's basically YouTube automation, what he's doing. He has footage that he matches with his own voice, and he makes an engaging story. And a lot of people like it because he has over 3 million subscribers. His videos average over 1 million views as well. So this guy must be doing something good, and we can certainly learn from it. So that's why I researched everything. And I researched, like, let me quickly go through the document. I analyzed his video script, his video editing, the way he does sound. So basically his sound design, the personality and charisma he uses in his video, the audience engagement, because engagement is important and more difficult when you are a faceless channel, his content strategy, his upload schedule, thumbnails, titles, and his branding. And maybe we can go through all of them, but it totally depends on how long we'll be spending on the questions and on the information I'm sharing. I think the script, video editing, and the sound design are the most important ones. And I think the title and thumbnail. So yeah, I did the research, and I think there are some very interesting things in here that are actually pretty easy as well. And simple to implement yourself, and I'm implementing it myself as well. And yeah, I'm curious what the results will be. So I split up the video script with an introduction, so basically the video hook. And by the way, if you have any questions, just drop them in there. And George, maybe if you can let me know if there's a question.
I'll be on the questions, and I'll be directing them to you.
Yeah, awesome. So I analyzed a couple of videos, and I've here the 4 most popular video of SunnyV2. So the most awkward moments in Joe Rogan history, the most intense arguments on Joe Rogan history, the brutal decline of Jelly. And basically what SunnyV2 is doing in his opening, so in his video hook, he is always mentioning the title in the first sentence directly. So the most awkward moments in Joe Rogan history. He says awkward moments on Joe Rogan is literally his first sentence. So people just know, like, they clicked on, they read the title, seen the thumbnail of SunnyV2, and when they hear him say the title, they know, this video is going to talk about this specific thing I clicked on. So that's what SunnyV2 does with every video. He mentions something of the title, almost the whole title, in the first sentence. So also the brutal decline of Jelly. How did Jelly lose 92% of his audience? It's literally the full title. Here with Joe Rogan, the most intense arguments, he mentions it's a little bit later, but he mentions Joe Rogan, the first sentence, and also pretty heated arguments, which is also matching the title. So the takeaway here is that he mentions the title or elements of the title in the first sentence, so people directly know, hey, I clicked the right video and he's going to talk about what I clicked on. So that's basically what he's doing. It's very simple. But
reconfirming the title.
Exactly, reconfirming the title, and it's basically very simple, but it can be something you can forget because you're thinking about a catchy hook. You want to get the attention right away. SunnyV2 just rephrases his title in a different way. So there is no delay or waiting. People get what they clicked on immediately. There is no waiting till the video starts. He goes right into the topic. With the Jelly video, he also did a different strategy. He mentions the first, like, the title in the first sentence, but also he's like placing some questions in the viewer's mind here. So did the content become repetitive, boring, or unremarkable? Did he become too focused on important things outside of YouTube? Or was his decline his direct result of a successful trio, blah, blah, blah. So basically he's planting some questions in your head and you're like, they all could be it. Which one is it? And you keep watching. So these are like the strategies SunnyV2 uses in his hook. And it's pretty simple in my opinion. So a lot of times he just mentions the title directly, goes straight into the video. And sometimes he proposes a question, or multiple questions, multiple outcomes, and he will then start with the video right away. So I hope the introduction, the hook part is clear of the video script of Sunny. And like, George, what should be better? If I go to the rehook part or go to the video editing and talk about the hook directly as well?
Let's just go a bit of why by one. What comes right after the thing that's
okay.
You said? Takeaways. So the takeaways.
I already mentioned the takeaway.
Right.
Yeah. So let's just stay with the video script, how he's structuring his video script.
Sure.
So, okay. you're hooked in the video, you clicked on his video and you find it interesting. Now, of course, the SunnyV2's videos are, I think, 15 to 20 minutes long. So it's Sunny's job to rehook the audience every once in a while. Because Sunny just knows, like especially right now with the attention span we have, in a couple of minutes people will be bored. So he needs to rehook his audience every time. And the method Sunny uses to rehook his audience is so simple. And I'll show you an example here. So this is from his script. As you and this is from the Joe Rogan experience.
Can you make it slightly bigger?
Sure, I can. So he is talking about
perfect
the Joe Rogan experience. Like I think the most intense arguments. I forgot to include a title, but this is from his script, and he's saying, as you can see, the conversation did eventually get back on track, and the podcast finished with no further hiccups. However, this wasn't the only time on an episode where Joe didn't know what else to say. So he uses the word however, and basically what he's saying is like the previous part is not as interesting as what's coming. So you're like, whoa, the next one is even more, because on the episode where Joe didn't even know what to say, so you want to know the next part already, and he does it every time. Same here. So Joe Rogan says, I don't believe in it. I think it's like about the flat earth theory. And then SunnyV2 is saying, however, Eddie Bravo, that's the guy who was in the podcast, was significantly more stubborn, who found himself in an argument with Joe after, wait, one moment, sorry. The
earth was flat.
Yeah. So basically Joe Rogan was having a conversation, and SunnyV2 says, however, while this argument could certainly be dismissed as a bit of a banter between two friends, the same can be said for the argument between, and then the next clip starts. So he uses the word however to downplay the clip you just saw, and then makes the next clip, he blows it up to make it look more interesting.
So he kind of says, but this next thing is even crazier.
Yeah, and he always uses the word however. So you just watch the clip, then SunnyV2, his voice starts, and he's saying, however, while it was clear that Jelly was in a better spot than ever in 2019, it would also mark the point at which the Roberts trio began to fall apart. And he begins like another interesting element, and most of the time he mentions that the next part will be more interesting than what you just watched. So, and that he does that every time. So maybe in my takeaway, I have it a little bit more clearly. So there's like a very smooth and direct transition between different podcast clips, where Sunny mentioned that there's something happening directly on the screen, and then connects it with the second clip by saying it's different or more extreme. So he's always downplaying the clip you just saw compared to the next clip that's coming. So you're always like being triggered to keep watching. So basically you can use the word however to open up a new chapter. You present the chapter in a way that is worse or more interesting than the current chapter the viewer is like watching.
It's like, you know what this reminded me of? When I was a child and I was watching those commercials on TV, like, you know, the couch shopping, where they would say like, you know, what they were selling like a lot of things, right? Through what's it called? Like phone, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then they would say like, but wait, there is more. If you order it today, we'll throw in this and this and this, right? So that kind of like, but wait, there's more. Like that's the thing that's like, you know, wait, there's more.
And that's basically what he's doing as well. So he's rehooking his audience every couple of minutes by presenting something new that's more interesting. And he does that the whole time with the word however.
It'll be interesting to know how many times he does it throughout the whole video.
A lot of times. Tubersama, I have the timestamps, not in here right now, but you can literally watch any of the Sunny videos in here, especially the Joe Rogan ones. He mentioned it with every new clip. He says however. So
George says that it's interesting how he can repeat a phrase so many times in a video, and as a viewer, we don't even notice it.
Yes, but there's like a couple of minutes in between. So he plays a clip, has a conversation about the clip, and then it's only used to do the rehooking and opening a new chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to know how many times on average he actually says however, how many in like a video.
Yeah, I think a lot of times. You can get the script from every video and just Control F.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
And yeah, so the conclusion, the ending. Conclusion for the videos are very direct and not really special. There is no outro with like, hey, subscribe. There is no communication that the video is ending. So he just ends the video abruptly. Also, he does this because to avoid any retention drops. So because if he mentions, hey, thanks for watching, subscribe, blah, 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 people will know the video ends and they will leave, which will hurt the retention. So he will end the video right away. Also, with the Joe Rogan example, he kept the most awkward argument on Joe Rogan near the end, causing a huge spike of views near the end, as you can see here. So this way, he made sure that people kept watching till the end, because they probably want to see what's happening and why the huge spike is there. So he also used a strategy to show the most interesting thing all the way near the end, and then ends the video right away.
I actually noticed that same thing for my own video where there is like a payoff at the end. Let's say, for example, I tried, affiliate marketing on TikTok, right? So the payoff is what is the result of trying this thing? And it's at the very end. And what I can see in my retention is usually the retention kind of goes like this, right? But because the payoff is there, the retention is more like that, right? It's more flat, and then there is more towards the end. And I actually noticed that when that happens, the video gets pushed to more people.
Yeah, it makes sense also, because your retention will be higher.
So maybe the takeaway here is to have some kind of a payoff at the end, whatever it is for your video.
Yes, and don't have like an outro. Don't let people know that the video is ending, basically.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Because usually as soon as people hear, and you know it in your own behavior, and in that we're going to say.
You can hear it on the tone of voice already.
Yeah, and the words you use, so right away, boom, drop. You want to avoid that drop.
So that's like a little bit of the script structure SunnyV2 uses. So mostly the hook, the rehooking, and the outro. That's mostly what I did the research on, because the rest is just the script, like the story. Mm-hmm. But then we come to the video editing, and the video editing is also very obvious what he does with every video. First and foremost, the footage he's using on the screen is always supporting a bold statement. Sometimes he, like the brutal decline of Jelly, he shows on the screen right away that it's true, that there is a decline. So that way people will believe him, because it's backed up with a source. With the intro, he shows suitable, unique images when the voiceover is asking specific questions or statements. So he asked did the decline of Jelly happen because he had repetitive content? He shows thumbnails that are all the same. So it's like supporting his voiceover in a unique way.
I think this brings back to this idea where show, don't say. So it's much better in a video whatever your script or your story is, to better show it.
It's strengthening each other. He is saying it while also showing it on the screen. So that's even better. Yeah. So same here. Did he become too focused on things outside of YouTube? So he shows a boat, he shows a car. And the thing is, what you can't see right now is he uses he's showing all these images with a transition. It's all moving. Maybe I don't think I can share it right now, but maybe if you want to watch the video of SunnyV2 about Jelly, all these things appearing on the screen, this line is moving, these things are moving up and down, these things pop and fly in, so there is a lot of things happening.
So a lot of animation.
Yes, and a lot of sound effects. So the first 20 seconds, the pace of the video is much faster. There are more elements moving and more sound effects added. So here are some elements. There's text appearing in typewriting style. Line chart is being marked with a marker. The thumbnails are moving, what I just showed you. The new boat and car video come flying in from the sides with moving footage on the background even. Best thing is even to just show the video. Maybe you can do that. Is that too long?
Text appearing in typewriting style. What does that mean?
Nice.
So I think what that means is that it's being typed in. So instead of just for the whole thing appearing, it's kind of like, right? It's typed.
Yeah, but I'll show. I don't have premium on Incognito, so let's wait till we're getting him some advertisements, some AdSense income. But I'll just show it's much easier to just show the movements because it's really fast paced.
I think for next masterclass, what we can do is we can download the video. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And we can have it already in Notion.
Yeah. So here he backs up his claim. So right now, he's making his bold statement. Now you can see this comes flying in, text comes flying, and this moves. Like it's all moving pretty quickly. There's something happening every 1 to 2 seconds. So that's basically it. And this is moving. And you don't hear the sound now, but the first 10 seconds, things are happening the whole time. So that's interesting because in the rest of the video, he doesn't.
It'd be interesting to know how many different segments happen in the first, 10 seconds, for example.
Yeah.
Cuts.
Yeah, and I think he does the same with this one and this one. All these things comes flying in first second right away, and this thing as well. So there are maybe 10 different animations happening and transition happening. So, and he all does that in the beginning to capture the attention of the viewer. So podcast images come flying in, there comes a curtain from the side. This is another video, and he's basically using footage in the beginning always to back up what he's saying. So if it's a bold statement, he backs it up with a source. And on the video editing style, there are a lot of things happening, sound effects, and things come flying in, literally every second. So also here, text appears letter for letter. So footage is supporting the bold statement in the beginning. The first 5 to 15 seconds, a lot of moving elements and transitions that trigger the brain. So there's something happening on the screen, which grabs attention. Each statement is backed up by actual footage that supports it. So the good thing to know, if you back up everything you say with a source on the screen, you can say whatever you want. Because the viewer can see, what he's saying makes sense because there is a source on the screen.
What do you mean you can say whatever you want?
The thing is, SunnyV2 always has a very clear opinion on things, and sometimes even controversial opinions. But if you can back up your opinion with an actual source that you can show on the screen, for example, the jelly one, you can say whatever you want, basically, because you can back it up, and the viewer can see, look, it's true.
Right.
So that's what I mean. So there's always something happening, colors changing, transitions, different footage, zooming in or out, images popping in. That's how SunnyV2 makes sure people are sticking around the first 20, 30 seconds. So for
he's
example,
loading them with a lot of different cuts and stimuli and overloading them. Yeah,
and after around, for example, with the jelly video, after 26 seconds, it becomes much slower. Then his story is starting, and he just shows there's supportive footage on the screen about 6 to 9 seconds. So it now takes between 6 to 9 seconds before there's a new image appearing. So for example, he just zooms in very slowly on a certain image that takes 6 seconds and then moves on to the next image. While in the beginning, it was bam, 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 Right. So he slows down a lot after that. Also, he has small editing details used. So this image is shown on the video as well, when he's talking about the trio that he was working with. Before this, the image was all in color, but when he mentioned jelly, all the people turned gray and they only showed jelly in color. Very small detail, but it just shows that you're taking effort in the video.
Yeah.
What's also a very good thing, what SunnyV2 does, is he backs up all his claims with external footage as well. So he's showing actual footage of them gaming while he's doing his voiceover. And this strengthens his whole message because people understand what he's talking about because he shows the relevant footage. So if he was just saying, Jelly is gaming with Kwebbelkop, that's the other YouTuber, it's much different than seeing the actual footage he's talking about.
Right.
So it strengthens his message a lot. And I think the biggest reason he does it breaks the pattern of the whole video editing style. Like, you're getting used to the way SunnyV2 edits his video, and if you then show external footage of what he's talking about that's completely different than his editing style, it breaks the pattern of what you expect, which makes it interesting again.
So pattern interrupt.
Yeah, that's, I think, also a reason why he uses like these kind of clips.
I liked what you said a lot about the pacing of the video. So starting on a very high energy notes, loading the viewer with a lot of cuts, and then after, 20, 30 seconds, slowing it down, actually, moving forward with the story, because this relates a lot to also how music is done. So music is a dynamic between high energy and low energy, right? And so it's also very important to take the viewer or the listener on this roller coaster of going high energy and then low energy, Yeah. So think about the pacing of the video, right? How is that going to be perceived?
Yeah. So after that, like, SunnyV2 is really taking you on an investigation. Like, that's basically his style. So then it also makes sense to do it in a more slower pace after that. But in the beginning, he just needs to make sure to get the attention, because there are so many videos on YouTube out there. People can click off, and he needs to make sure, to keep watching. So that was the jelly video. Also with the other videos, he's using quotes to, again, back up his like what he says. He uses like a marker effect to highlight the things he was saying. He does that a lot as well to highlight specific things in big documents.
So we know where to focus.
Yeah, exactly. And also, again, backing up his claims. Because it's very, like, he's saying, he has a lot of controversial topics. So he needs to back everything up.
Right.
He has simple slide-ins after that, like slow transitions. But the interesting thing is, when the video is becoming more dark, he changes the background to black of the text and highlights it with red. Because black and red is like the more negative colors, more bloody.
Interesting.
So again, another detail in video editing, how you can convey like the message on your screen as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I think with Joe Rogan, he also did a very good thing and simple thing. He uses a red curtain when a clip ends. And with a red curtain, we all know when a red curtain appears, the show ends, You just know, like, it's on to the next one or something ends. So he literally shows that, this clip ended, let's go to the next one. And he did it like really literally. I thought it was quite interesting, because the curtain comes flying in from the side, so there is something happening. And it's a curtain, so this clip is over, we're going to the next curtain. And then he probably says, like, right now, however, and then says his thing,
Right.
However, you need to see the next episode, and then that starts. So there are very clear like ways when something next is happening for the Joe Rogan one. So takeaway, after the introduction, video editing becomes much slower. Supportive footage is on the screen for about 6 to 9 seconds. And he uses, for example, very slow zoom in effects. So there is something happening, but not as fast paced. There are very small editing details used to strengthen the voiceover. So when Jelly became 1/3 of the group, he only showed Jelly in color and the rest in gray. He uses actual footage that strengthens his message a lot. So, and also make sure there's a pattern interruption in the video itself by using a video that's like of another channel to strengthen his message. So he shows like footage of the actual person he's talking about. So it feels more deep and real. Slower transitions. When quoting someone, the actual source is shown, including a marker effect. So that's basically it. We covered most of it.
Yeah. The vibe changes.
Yeah. Conclusion, ending. With editing, there's no special thing he does with the outro. He just ends the video like, it could also be like the middle of the video. That's how he ends.
So abruptly.
Abruptly. I mean, yeah, exactly. Just abruptly, and no special outro or anything.
So someone is asking here, by using footage of gameplays, how can we prevent himself from getting copyrighted? Is it because of the voiceover? So this is a completely original video. It falls under fair use. Exactly. There is a script. It's a completely new video, right? It's It's a script, it's a voiceover. He doesn't just use his gameplay, he just uses, a certain part of the gameplay. So yeah, this is completely fair use.
Yeah, that's correct. And interesting thing is, I think maybe half of the video of SunnyV2 and why it's so interesting is the music he uses. Like all his videos are like a darker angle. So I can show you his thumbnails and you have a clear idea. Like it's all black and red and it's pretty much negative, you know? If you see the best performing one. So, and SunnyV2 is like, he's telling a story, but it's like in a way of investigation. So he's like, the music he's using is like investigation music or detective music. You're like going on a journey with him to find out the real answer to the thing he stated in the title. So yeah, I can't like play it right now, but he uses like real like darker and like tense music that makes you feel like, oh yeah, we're onto something here. And it's really funny to listen to. And it starts like right away. So it's like a deep sound right away and you're like, okay, you're getting sucked in. And then you combine it with the fast transitions. So you're like getting overly stimulated.
Yeah.
So,
don't worry.
This will be recorded, Nolan. So
yes, this will be recorded and it will be posted the full thing will be posted on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that. Exactly. So the sound design is very important because, us human beings, we are, multi-sensory animals, right? We watch, we listen, right? We perceive the smell, the touch. So by taking into consideration not just the visuals, but also setting in the tone with the music, that, you're getting more immersed into the story.
Yeah, and next to it, he also uses a lot of like sound effects for like the text appearing. It's like a typewriter sound, so like a very old typewriter. The line, like there's like the jelly video. In the beginning, he shows the analytics, and a line is following the graph. And there's like a pen marker sound. So, like when the thumbnails appear of the Joe Rogan podcast or the jelly things, he has like a popping sound. And like the transitions all have a sound. So he's like basically overstimulating the people with movements on the screen, sound effects, but also like the investigation music, what's still going on the background. So you're getting really sucked into this quest, basically, of finding the answer to the title, the proposed title.
I'm not sure if overstimulating is the right word, but I would say a proper sound design to make sure that every little thing in the video is supported with a specific sound effect.
Yes, not overstimulating, but like stimulating enough to keep people hooked, basically. Like overstimulating is not good because then people don't like it. But it's like a nice balance. But it's hard to talk about sound. You should just listen to it. Like listen any video of SunnyV2 and you know what I mean. The rest of the video, he uses like also the dark suspense mystery music throughout the whole video. And sometimes he uses like a deep like boom effect on a certain word to have it like more impact. And then he stops the music for like a second. So, for example, here would also mark the point at which the robot trio began to fall apart. Boom, silence for a second. So people can digest the word fall apart because it's like a dramatic word, it has a lot of impact. So then that's also a way he plays with the music.
Warren, that is an interesting idea to be able to send in your video intro to be looked at. Let's talk about it after the masterclass, but I think that is a possibility, and maybe that is something that we can do for another time where you guys could submit your video or intro or script, and then, we collectively would look at them and, try to be like, okay, this could be changed or whatever. So yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, we can do that. During the rest of the video, there are not so many SFX sounds used, so like sound effects used, just a couple of times for slow transitions, because like the rest of the video is a slower pace in terms of editing, so there's also less sound effects needed because there's less happening on the screen. So yeah, that's basically the sound design. I think I covered everything. Yeah, takeaway, set a tone of the video in the beginning by picking the right background music. Use the sound effects heavily in the beginning that support the many transactions happening. And after that, it slows down. But in the end, during the whole video, you still feel like you're on an investigation together. And that's like the SunnyV2 approach.
Sound design, from my experience, is super important. It can literally change the whole feel of the video. You can have the whole video, and if you just remove the sound design, it's going to be a completely different video.
Yeah.
And so my suggestion is probably to invest into a good library of copyright-free music that you can use, whether it's Artlist or Artgrid or, one of those, right? Because it changes so much. And, the Facebook one, the YouTube one, they're not that good, and they're being used by a lot of people. So it's better to just invest a little bit of money into one of those stock footage websites, so you can have, the B-roll, you can have the music that you can use. It's going to really elevate everything for you.
Yeah, I agree. I think for now it's mostly interesting to go to the title and thumbnail design, I think, because how long are we in right now?
We are 37 minutes in, but what's about the personality and charisma? Or did you cover that?
No, I didn't cover that. But the thing is with Sunny, it's actually quite a short point. But he's purely doing research. He's not connecting with the audience directly. So he has no personal touches or humor, or he's more of a serious guy. And he's just doing his research and making a cool video. And he's not really talking directly to the audience. So that's basically his style. Also, same with audience engagement. He's not engaging with the audio in the video itself. He's also not leaving comments, as I've seen so far. Description, nothing special. Community post, not so much. So he does nothing really to connect with the audience specifically. He just makes a great video. And people talk about video mostly. And Sunny just get the credits. But he's not actively engaging with the audience. Not asking questions or leaving comments or stuff like that.
Do you know where he's from?
Australia.
Okay.
Video topics, he uses Leverage, Joe Rogan, Jelly, he uses Dream, Pizza Hut, BuzzFeed, all big videos that got a lot of views, TikTok, big authorities, people know those topics. So he leverages that. He also makes videos that trigger user curiosity. So the dumbest lottery winner of all time, there's no authority in there, but dumbest lottery winner, you're like, okay, I want to know that. The rapper who went... Yeah.
It's between hot and cold, You would think that if someone wins a lottery, that's a good thing, but the word dumb is associated with something negative, so then it becomes this kind of push and pull effect of contradicting itself in the title.
Yeah, also Magnus Media also had a title that was the idiot genius that did... So he was a genius on a specific element, but he did something else where he was an idiot at, so that didn't make sense. But same here, idiot streamers who got caught cheating live, it's all people, it makes people curious. So he mostly leverages authorities, but also has unique video ideas. Angles, mostly brutal declines of people or companies, dark side, the tragic transformations, awkward or intense moments, things people don't expect, or a strong opinion. Basically a lot of drama, controversy, and things that trigger emotion.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
I think also this is what Graham Stephan was talking about in a lot of the podcasts, is that if he just talks about, hey, the market is up, or things are good, people are less likely to click. And he found that when it's a negative video, the market is down or someone is falling apart or whatever, people are more likely to click. But that is not to say that there is not an opportunity or a market for, positive.
Of course. But data shows that negativity works more in terms of clicks and CTR a lot of times.
Yeah.
You can also see it in the thumbnails. Upload schedule, 1 video per week. Yeah, that's his thing. Thumbnails, he shows a famous person in every thumbnail in cartoon style. So he again triggers the authority of someone most of the times, and uses text, and it's mostly red and black or dark, because that's the angle he's going for. And he has a unique style with the cartoon faces, So when someone sees his next video upload, they just know, oh, that's SunnyV2 because he also always uses cartoons.
Yeah.
So that's like his style.
George said here that it's a great point to take an opinion everyone shares, like rappers are rich, and flip it on its head. So, take someone that everyone believes to be the truth and then challenge that idea, because then people are like, what? My strongly held belief is being challenged? What is this about?
Exactly. And it makes people curious, yeah.
Yeah.
For the titles, all titles are like under 45 characters. So pretty short. They all use 1 or 2 words that are triggering huge emotion. So most intense, brutal, idiot, caught, people want to know. Fired, so every Mr. Beast member who got fired. The worst reputation, the tragic transformation, the stupidest ways. And also, reading the title, you know exactly what to expect. So there's no like guessing, like, oh, what is this video about? It's literally,
He uses some very emotionally charged words, so the ones you just said.
Exactly. Very simple. And no, like if you just see this title, you know, oh, it's about Nikado, I forgot, I don't know, transformation. You just know it.
But
who was the word? Yeah, it's very simple.
As they say, in simplicity lies true mastery.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks simple.
You know, like a great thumbnail is simple, but it's hard to make a really good simple thumbnail. You know, a good title is also simple, but it's hard to convey the message, exactly what it is and keep it like super simple. So don't be swayed by the idea that only because it looks simple on the outside, it is easy, right? True mastery lies in simplicity. And, when you look at someone, when you walk outside and you see someone juggling or whatever, performing any sports, like it looks like it's very easy for them, right? But if you try it, you're probably going to break your neck. So true mastery. So true mastery lies in being able to look at it and be like, whoa, he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, I agree. And it takes time. And in terms of branding, he just has simple branding. But an iconic profile picture now, because so many people seen it. So he will probably never change it, because people just know that profile picture is him, like a guy from a long time ago, from Rome, from the Greek time, I don't know. So, but that's mostly the takeaway. I think maybe we can do some questions.
I think we answered quite a bit of questions along the way. If you guys have any questions now, please drop them now. If you took any notes, I've definitely taken notes throughout the whole thing. So I have here, the first one is reconfirm the title. Someone said about timestamps, how many times however is used, storytelling, show, don't say. That was a big one that you mentioned, show, don't say, animation. And how many cuts in the first 10 seconds? So those are kind of my notes here.
I see one question from Anon. Where do you find quality freelancers? Upwork works, but you need to have a good screening template.
Yes.
Filter out all the bullshit replies, basically.
Whoa, that's a strong word.
Yeah, I learned that from SunnyV2 to use strong words.
Yeah. So Upwork is the best. We hire everybody from Upwork, but like Ron said, you need to learn how to hire people, because you're gonna get a lot of proposals, and it's like a several step process. First you go through it, you shortcut. No, what is it called? The word, shortlist them.
Oh, sure.
No, it's like you can put like up and down, like a dislike thing. Then the dislikes remove it. Then you're left with like only likes, and then you actually go message them one by one and request samples. It's not an easy process to find good talent. First off, good talent is expensive, and second of all, that they're not that easy to find. People in the top positions, like the top talent. I was reading the story of Robert Iger, who was the CEO of Disney for like 16 years or something. Companies and people at that level, they scout people and they like try to get them from other companies and stuff, right? They offer super interesting like incentives for them, and because it's all about the talent. Do you offer anything for filtering bad candidates? I think you put together a
we have shared a screening template. I think I just message me. I can share the document with you. It's no problem. Basically, also the thing is one also very simple trick that you can implement right away is at the end of a job post, ask them to put their favorite color in the first sentence when they apply to you.
Nate
and if they don't, and if they don't mention their favorite color in the first sentence, you just know it's bots. So you can ignore them already.
Not bots, but they're just
spammers.
Copy pasting. Yeah, I have tried that. No one mentions.
And then you know. If they can't even read a job post message, then you also just not hire them because they will also not deliver good quality.
Yeah.
Keep trying. Yeah, only way.
A clear distinction on what our channel will be leveraging browse features more over search. I've been using keyword research and optimizing my videos for search, but most of my videos are from browse.
That depends what you want.
Yeah. I mean, so we talked about this before, but like search versus browse, I don't think it's the right time right now to discuss it because we've talked a lot about it before. So see where if you want to go back and look at previous masterminds and podcasts, that would be interesting. But otherwise, I can maybe share my screen to show you my recent video that has been picking up for you guys as well. To show you that I'm actually getting both of the traffic sources, so browse and what's it called? Browse,
search,
and search. Yeah. So I'm gonna show here. Share my screen. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a video that I posted recently and that has been working really well. You guys can expect more videos from me like this, where it's going to be me trying something for 7 or 30 days, whether it's, starting a YouTube channel with only using AI and so forth. Why? Because you guys love this, right? And the people also on YouTube love this title. So the video got 1.8 thousand views in the first 5 days, 120 hours, 32 subs, and so far it made 21.5 euro. But what's interesting is that the traffic here is split equally, literally equally between browse and search, which I found super interesting. Now kind of the browse died off a little bit, but it will most likely pick up because it's a pretty good video. The video itself is okay. This is what I was talking about, having the results at the end. So you can see this is an above typical retention rate. And if we go here, see more, and we go to compare to other videos, you can see that the whole video here is above average retention. And then only at the end here, after minute 8, it goes below average, right?
What happened here? Can you cut it?
It was me basically blabbering about my takeaway from this challenge.
That people don't care about your
people
opinions,
don't care about my takeaway. No, they don't. So just show and don't over explain and give your opinion about what happened, right?
Yeah.
But overall, it's pretty good. You see, so like because it's above average retention throughout the whole video, that's why the video got picked. You see, this is the average one, right? As usual, and this is like so much, but this is like a 1 out of 10. So yeah, and the RPM is 15 euro.
Very nice.
Yes. So I'm going to be going with this style more. So yeah, hopefully my guy, Rayhan, with whom I'm working closely now, who does my thumbnails now in the editing, he said that if I make 20 more videos like this, in this style, with this title format and everything, and thumbnail and storytelling, in 20 videos, I'll be at 100K. Let's see if my boy Georgie agrees with that as well.
Let's see. You said it now on camera, so.
All right.
No, but I think not really any questions about what we discussed.
Yeah.
So I think we can end it here.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's no any more questions, we want to thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you guys so much for attending. George, much love. The reason I'm watching here is because my screen is here, but the camera is there. Anyway, hope you guys loved it. Thank you so much for attending, for your time. We hope we find it valuable. If you want to recap, watch it on YouTube. And yeah, have a great rest of your day.
Good night or good day, everyone. Ciao.
Take care. Bye.